Well, the government's calling it a major relaxing of our COVID-19 restrictions, but not everyone feels the same way. Joining me now is ACT Party leader David Seymour, who says yesterday's announcements don't go far enough. Good morning to you, David. Change, but clearly not enough of it for you.
Oh, good morning, Bernadine. It's not enough for people who are so fatigued, are ready to move on from rules that don't make sense, but find themselves with a Prime Minister who is just terrified of letting go of COVID politics. And if you look at these announcements, we're waiting, another week to get rid of vaccine passes. Why? We're not making decisions based on public health and whether those restrictions actually stop the spread of COVID. I mean, Andrew Little admitted that they're now making no difference to hospitalisation, for example. He admitted that last week, but we must keep following these restrictions. It seems the only reason for the continued restrictions is the government is unwilling to admit that some of the things they've made us do haven't been working, so they're saving face. And I think they just don't want to get back to the cost of living and the problems with housing and problems with crime and poverty that they're going to have to face up to, but not while we still have COVID politics dominating the scene.
So the speed of the process has been an issue for you and many others. Do we not need some measures, though, to protect our vulnerable communities and, to a degree, keep some sort of framework there in our health system should we be hit with another variant?
Well, the question is whether the measures are actually effective. Yes, we want to fight COVID, but that doesn't mean we should do ineffective things just to make it look better. This treatment of hospitality has been decimated. Changing the crowd size limit to 200 makes little difference to most venues. Stopping people moving between tables just absolutely kills the buzz that most hospitality arrangements actually depend, or businesses actually depend on. It's not a question of where we're going. Eventually, we will get our way of life back, move on to being normal again. However, the way the government is dragging it out seems to be driven more and more by politics than public health. And you saw that with a 22-minute history lesson from the Prime Minister before she told us anything. She should have just told us what the rules are and got on with it.
So you say that we need some real change. What does that look like? What does real change look like for you?
Well, it's very simple. We ask the question, does a particular rule or restriction actually help us achieve our goal of slowing down the spread of COVID and preventing hospitalisation and protecting people who are vulnerable? Does it do that? Well, QR code scanning doesn't do that, hasn't done that for over a month, should have been gone a long time ago. Vaccine passes, no longer doing that because we've got 97% of people vaccinated. The effect of using vaccine passes is people that aren't vaccinated will probably catch it and or spread it in a supermarket or a school setting rather than through their kids, rather than at a cafe, for example. It makes no net difference to the outcome. If we looked at the restrictions we have one by one and asked if they actually made sense, then other than masks indoors, we'd dump it all because you just can't justify it anymore. We're being asked to continue following the rules for reasons of political theatre rather than public health. And the damage that is doing to people's livelihoods, to businesses up and down the country, while places like Sydney across the ditch are on fire, getting on with life as normal. It's not only offensive and insulting, it's hugely damaging. And I predict we will find that we've spent the first 2 quarters of 2022 in recession, in large part because of unworkable isolation rules, needless restrictions, needless vaccine passes, a whole lot of rules that are in place because it's too difficult for the government to back down rapidly and save face, even though it's also impossible for people to survive under the rules they've made.
David, many people don't like these changes. They don't sit comfortably for them. What's your message to those, like a Susie Wells, for example, who have said that the QR scanning should stay, that we should keep a conservative and safe approach? What's your message to them?
Well, she says she's disappointed and worried. I think she's disappointed and worried she's going to become irrelevant. If she's defending QR code scanning, here's the question. Why is everyone asked to do it? What is the information used for? You're not required to isolate or be a close contact due to a QR code scan. Not enough people are using it to make meaningful contacts between people anyway. If you use it, the last 10 people didn't, you're not going to make any connections. So there's just no point. in forcing businesses to display those codes and forcing people to scan in, because it is not working to reduce COVID, which I thought was the overall goal. And we just need to dump things that are not helping us achieve our goal anymore.
Right, so you're saying some redundant measures in place still. All right, ACT Party Leader, we've got to leave it there. David Seymour, as always, thanks for your time.